So this article I am writing about is about telemedicine with COVID and how it helps with biosecurity as well.
Sure.
I originally approached Chris for some data, and then he was like, well, we're interviewing Dr. Schaefer, I think, for a podcast. And so he was like, you can go ahead and talk to him. So I was like,
Yeah.
great. So that's how we're here. So how did you end up with RC Farms, Family Farms?
I started actually almost 6 months to the day,
Okay.
January 7th of this year. I'd been a couple previous jobs. I graduated from University of Minnesota vet school in 2010. Took a job with Iowa Select Farms for 3 years, and then worked in pharmaceutical industry for about six and a half years. And yeah, time of transition. I got a young family and was looking for kind of a change. I was on the road a lot and didn't really fit my lifestyle anymore. So this opportunity came up. Dave called me and asked if I was interested. I interviewed, got to spend some time with Dr. Carmichael and learn about what he did on a daily basis, how they utilized EveryPig, and able to work remotely, live in Ames where I was working, and got to stay here remotely. So it's worked out great for me and my family.
Good deal.
Yeah.
How have they been adapting to COVID? I guess like veterinary wise, but then I guess to like production, like worker wise.
Sure. I would say that RC Family Farms is ideally prepared for COVID more than probably other people that I have worked with in the past. It's a smaller company. We rely on a lot of management companies to do some of the day-to-day pig stuff, but a lot of our staff have been able to work remotely pretty seamlessly. I work with EveryPig every day, and most of our people do. So it's nice to be able to understand what's going on in the barns without actually having to go out into the barns, especially during this time of COVID. Sorry for the loud noise.
It's okay. My fiance's about to come home, so I'm sure like the dogs are gonna like bark all over. So I'm sorry too on my end, but
I think it's been good. We still have to follow our social distancing or do what we can to make sure we're still productive. But I guess my job is always designed to be remote, working from home. So it's been a seamless transition for me. I haven't had to really change anything I do. Maybe I'm on farm less than I originally was scheduled to be, but that's starting to open up a little bit too. And I'm still getting back out there as much as I can in the field.
Okay. Yeah, so that kind of flows into like the next question. Like, have you noticed you allocating your time differently, like farm visits wise, like since COVID, or like have you noticed that you're on the phone more? Or because I know you use EveryPig a lot.
Right. I do. Yes.
So
Chris called me a super user, I think is what he called me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if that's been a shift.
Hard to say. I guess I didn't really know any different. When I started, that was the crux of what I was, I think, coming on to do, is to take over EveryPig. I think Dr. Baumgart's really pushes for us to maximize our time, be efficient with our time. So if there's things that we can handle over EveryPig or on the phone, that's a better use of our time than driving all over the state trying to get to farms and deal with problems that way. So, I mean, it's been a little bit different. I think none of us were prepared for this or expected to have to be in isolation like this. But for me, it's been a pretty easy thing to do, utilizing the EveryPig. I think it's been a great tool for this pandemic that we're in.
Do you like, I guess like estimation wise, like how much like has like EveryPig and like telemedicine like filtered through like those unnecessary trips? And not unnecessary, but like stuff that can be handled over the phone. Do you have any idea? I know that's like off the cuff, like of what I didn't ask you, but
yeah, only point of reference I have is when I worked at Iowa Select. I know I'd go leave at 6 in the morning, and I would not get home until 6 at night. I'd get as many farm visits than I could, but I also felt somewhat restricted by biosecurity as well. So biosecurity is a great tool to utilize to minimize spread and transfer of disease pathogens. When I don't have to visit the farm, that's one less obstacle for me or concern that I have about myself transmitting something around to other farms, or having to have that, I guess, a peace of mind for me that I can do a lot of the information over the internet or over EveryPig than having to physically go there.
Yeah.
I'd say in general, it's really dependent on trust, whether it's biosecurity, whether that's production, whether that's health. You have to trust the people that you're working with that are in the barns daily. What they're seeing in the barn, what they're communicating to you through EveryPig has to be a strength of ours. And so we're continuing to build that. I mean, I work with dozens of different people. I could get calls from a dozen different people a day, and I do. So each person inputs their stuff in EveryPig a little bit different, so I have to interpret a little bit, but it's been a good learning process for me to understand what people's needs are. And some people do need more interaction, need more people to visit with them face to face, and other people can get by pretty easily and seamlessly without much oversight.
Okay. So I guess you've been using EveryPig for COVID, but are there other tools to recommend for people that are kind of struggling for this transition? Which is that?
Yeah. I reached out to Chris this week to help me with insights. I know that's a tool that's available that I have used or dabbled in a little bit. So I'm trying to use some of the tools and programs that are available in EveryPig that I haven't to this point, do a better job of missing, if there's any sites that I've missed that people don't call me on, that have had issues that maybe fall through the cracks. I'm trying to hone in on EveryPig as a tool for that.
Okay.
You set up your feed to highlight whatever parameters you want, whether that's 2 pigs dead a day or mortality or a note or some sort of clinical signs. So if it doesn't meet a certain threshold, it may fall through the cracks. And so I'm looking for more maybe cumulative weekly averages or percentages that could mean something is bigger is going on. And we also obviously use it for its cumulative mortality and all the clinical signs that are included as well. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to filter through some of that right now, making sure I'm maximizing its full potential too.
And then my last question is, do you think some of our changes that we've seen with COVID with either yourself or with RC Family Farms, do you think they'll be more permanent? I'm not trying to say oh, you said this 6 months ago. I'm just curious because my stats professor, he really likes having his office hours on Zoom, and so he's just gonna continue that. So I don't know if there's anything that has good come out of COVID for you, or
it's going to be really personality specific or driven, I'd say. Not just our industry, but all industries. I think you find people that actually work more efficiently from home. Okay. I think there's a lot of distractions at the office that they may not be able to be as efficient or get as much work done as they would otherwise. So I think each personality will be a little bit different. The concern working remotely is whether or not you'll miss that social interaction, and I do to an extent, but I think I get the best of both worlds by the ability to be efficient from home, working and overseeing a large number of farms without having to go each of them individually, while also maybe one day a week or whatever will end up being on the farm and following up on major issues instead of having that be my full-time job.
Okay.
I think I did that for a while working in production, and I just didn't think it was the best use of my time or efficient to end up being a fire engine practice, go to whatever emergency is that day. You probably aren't at the right site. You probably your time better other places.
Right.
So yeah, I think it will be, some of the changes will be permanent. I think some people will thrive in a work environment where we can live and work from home and use telemedicine to our advantage. I've already had vets that have asked or wanted to know more and have thought about using telemedicine more, because I think that's exactly the point.
Right.
We didn't have it before, but maybe it's a better way of our time going forward.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I
didn't talk about biosecurity specifically much.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you kind of touched on it. I understand what you mean. It's you're really kind of limited, to which farms you visit that day and what farms you visit the next. And I think I personally think like telemedicine helps kind of filter through like that, but I don't know. You can comment on that if you would like, or
On what?
on like how telemedicine helps, I guess, improve biosecurity too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we rely on a lot of field reports. We do have certain biosecurity
Mm-hmm.
practices or protocols that are evaluated every visit that our management companies or caretakers are at
Yeah.
the sites and farms. So that's something I review as the field reports get uploaded too. So it
Okay.
is a tool that I utilize for it, even though I may not be physically on the farm too.
All right. I think that's it.
Okay.
So I'm sorry I misquoted you 30 minutes, but it's shorter than 30 minutes. So
All right. Yeah, I was rushing to get back to. I visited a few farms today actually, and trying to get back and caught up. We had our own couple meetings this afternoon too, so timing worked out perfectly. No, thank you for your time, and
yeah, thank you for your time too. So, okay. Bye.
thanks for everything. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much.